I want to share with you a story that happened not too long ago about my cat, who taught me a really valuable lesson. And in my home, we have an elderly cat who became sick, and it was very obvious needed to make a trip to the vet. And if you have ever tried to put a cat in a carrier to take them to the vet when they do not want to go, you know that that can be a little bit of trauma. And in my house, it often looks like chasing the cat. It looks like moving furniture. It looks like chaos. And I was nervous and anxious about this, but the appointment was the next morning, and I'd been invited to go to a women's event, a women's Bible study that night. And so I went, and I didn't know many of the women there, and it came time to give prayer requests, and the women were praying for things like sick family members and job losses and finances and big, weighty, heavy things. And what was on my mind was, I have to get a cat in a carrier. And I thought, that's so insignificant. But what came to mind, and I'd like to share it with you, was a verse in the book of Philippians chapter 4. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And even though I was a little embarrassed, I asked the women to pray for my cat, that I would be able to get him into the carrier. And so the next morning, I'd kind of forgotten about that prayer. My husband and I were sitting in my home office scheming of how we were to get the cat in the carrier. And the cat sauntered into the room and hopped in my husband's lap and curled up like it was no big deal. And he was reminded that we had prayed for this moment. I don't know why I was surprised, because God says to bring him both the little things and the small things. He says to come to him in prayer. And it was a profound reminder to me that it's okay to ask him for those little things. And by the way, the cat was okay. I forgot to share that part in the first part of the service and had folks come up to me afterwards. But I was reminded of just the goodness and grace of our God.